I'm Sally. I'm going to be starting Thru-hiking Te Araroa very soon, and this is everything I'm taking with me. My base weight is around 10.5 kilos at the moment. I'm trying to get it lower. Send me your tips. So yeah, we'll run through everything I'm taking, and I think it'll be fun to look at the end to see what lasted, what worked well, what I decided I didn't need, and if I added anything as well. So we'll start with what I'm wearing. At the top I'll have my hat, which is a fractal hat. It's got mesh on the top, and I bought this lovely patch from Trade Me. I just typed in Te Araroa and found the patch, so I put that on the front. My ponytail goes through the back to secure it on my head so it doesn't blow off, and I've got a little button badge at the back, which is kind of cute. I've chosen yellow and then purple for most of my things. Those are the colours I liked when I was a small child, so I'm just trying to bring a bit of joy, and they're great for visibility as well. So that's the hat. Underneath the hat is Aftershocks by Aeropix bone conducting headphones, and I attached a hair tie at the back as well, again to just secure it over my ponytail so that when I take my cap off it doesn't flick off the headphones. Right, bottom up, shoes, Vibram 5-finger shoes. The model is V-Trail. These are great for draining water away. Certainly not for everyone, but I'm used to wearing these, so they work for me. And then I've got trail running gaiters that I already had as well. They just clip on the front. On the bottom they have a little grippy thing. At the back these are Montane ones. Not sure if you can still get these. They're really good. They've lasted heaps. Been in the wash lots. And then clothing wise, I've got icebreaker merino bra and undies, and then just a warehouse crop top to go over the top, and then that can be good for togs as well. A Evolved supply company from Z-Packs. This is a merino sun hoodie. I did size up so it would be nice and loose. It's got well, you can vent it by having it open at the front, and if it gets too hot I do have a t-shirt I can swap it out with, thumb holes down the bottom for the hands so I can cover right down on your hands as well. So being merino, I hoped that that's okay when it gets too hot. It is a lightweight merino. We'll see how that goes. Hiking pants, I bought these in an op shop ages ago. They've got some little reflector things on them, so that can be handy at for road walking, and obviously they're really colourful and they're really comfortable. One thing I've just left out here is these little Cedar Summit accessory carabiners. Come in packs of 3. They're very light. I think they're 3 grams each. I'm using quite a few of them to attach things to my pack. I have had things fall off in the past. Don't know that I've ever lost anything because I name my things and people find them and they go, here, this fell off your pack. So these are quite handy as well. So to the pack, Mountain Magic 50 Pro, 43 litres in the back, and then the balance pockets at the front take the other 7 litres, and there's a lot in there. Yeah, this is kind of how I use stuff, keeping the things I need at the front, and obviously the things you don't need during the day in the back. The pack cover again is high visibility for the road sections, and it does protect the pack as well as from rain, just abrasion. I did secure it at the bottom with a piece of elastic through the drainage hole, and then just through the bottom of the pack. So starting at the back, this is a poncho from Z-Packs that goes over me and the pack. Really handy for New Zealand summers when it might rain for 2 minutes. You've only just got your gear off to put your raincoat on, and then it decides to stop raining again. So this can just be thrown on so I don't get wet, and then taken off again. It's not a big palaver to get it on. I did add some yellow electrical tape just for visibility. It'll probably come off at some stage. I don't really expect it to stay. And then the rest of the rain gear, I have got a MacPack rain jacket. It's just a trail running jacket. It's quite light, and it's hard to get out, obviously. I size up on these so that if I'm wearing a day pack, it just goes over the top of it like a poncho. I have also added a bulldog clip to the peak so that when it's really windy I can just attach it to my cap if I'm wearing a cap underneath, or my hood if I'm wearing a hood underneath. I don't always like it cinched down right over my face, especially when you're trying to hear traffic or whatever. That's my little modification for that. In this dry bag is my mid-layer jacket, so if I do get cold while I'm hiking, I can put this one on. This pretty old Kathmandu Altika, I think it is. It's that breathable kind of fabric, so you won't get wet from your sweat. Surprisingly warm though, amazing. And then I've got some Kathmandu rain pants, which are new. I haven't worn these. Thought they were quite nice for a town option as well. If everything's in the wash and I have to wear these, can I even tell you what they are? Don't know. Sorry. And obviously keeping my jacket in a dry bag is quite important. Right, outside pocket here. Hairbrush. And repair kit. I've got some zip ties, some super glue, which actually looks like it's squashed, so I might change that. Oh, that's alright. Some elastic, some thread, some patches, like tape patches, did I say zip ties, and the needle for the thread. Bug net here to be used as a bug net, and also as my pillow. It contains my down jacket inside it, and there's a couple of pairs of earplugs in there for noisy snoring people. First aid kit. This is kind of the trauma kit with all bandages and bits and pieces in it. I can go through that separately if you're interested. These are laundry sheets, laundry detergent sheets, not the dryer sheets. So you put two of these to make a full wash. So I just bought some for the first couple of weeks to see me through. Maybe get to wash my clothes once a week at a campground or accommodation. And then an emergency bag. This has a whistle on it as well. Can also be used as extra large for my sleeping bag if I get cold. Right at the side here, this is my gift from Pam Menzies. Thanks Pam. This is my sit pad. I have used it already. Absolutely wonderful. I do enjoy it. So it was Pam's favourite thing, so she gifted that to me. She's done lots of sections of Te Araroa already. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. These are my tent pegs. With my tent came 4 big, 4 small, but I have taken an extra few tent pegs as well. And this is the Cedar Summit airlight towel, which folds down to a tiny thing and dries really quickly. This is the type of fabric it is. And you can see there where I've attached them with a carabiner, or just, you know, several things on one carabiner is fine. Oops, let's put that one up. Anyway, I can fix that later. On this side has got my sort of loo thing, so that's a boggler trowel for digging a cat hole, and toilet paper for that side of things, and then just a pea rag. These microfiber cloths, you get them in this colour and this colour, like a beigey colour, in a box of 10 each colour. Like buy them separately, and I think they're 10 grams each. They're from the warehouse. They're called Best brand, and just be careful because they do make thicker ones as well and bigger ones. So just if you're looking for the small ones, but yeah, I mean, you know, I'll wear that until I'll use it until it wears out, and then happy to replace it. But I've used them for lots of other things. They're very, very handy. Go on to the top now, I think, and then we'll head round the front. So at the top here on the pack straps, I've got Luna sandals. These are for camp shoes, and also I can use them for hiking, especially if I'm experiencing sore feet or something. These are super comfortable. I've worn them lots. Right in the top, of course, is my tent. I've got the Burton X-Mid Pro 2, Heaps of room for me and all my gear to spread out in that. This is the one with the Dyneema floor. It's a lot more see-through the tent than I had anticipated. So when it's a full moon, you probably need to cover your eyes with it. But anyway, I have got one of those little cloths in there as well that I just showed you. Those just for wiping down my wet tent, and then that can stay in there. Pretty handy, and that gets erected. Obviously, you saw the pegs before, and do some hiking poles, which I'll be using to hike with. And then they put the tent up as well, or hold the tent up. And here I've got a Z-Flex Dyneema pack liner. I got a pretty big one, with the idea being that when I take this out and it's empty, I can fit my whole pack, my whole empty pack inside this, and then fill it up. So this can go on an airplane or a bus or whatever, and I'm not worried about all my straps dangling and getting caught and broken and potentially damaged before I even get to the start. So that's the reason I went with that one. They say it's water, like use it as a pack liner, but it's not good if you submerge it. So I have also put a nylon liner in there as well. Food for the first section, and then I've got the nylon liner in there. Day pack, cheap one off Treatley. You can tell why I bought it because I like the colour. This fits my food in it, so it can be hung up as a food bag. It can be used as a laundry bag. It can be used as a slack packing pack or day pack. So on the timber trail, my big bag will probably get shuttled ahead, and I'll go on the bike for 2 days. Same somewhere in the South Island. Is it Tekapo? You get the bike option as well. So that'll be handy. Even just groceries in town, or going up to the laundromat, that kind of thing. Or even the laundry in the campground, carrying things over. Toiletries, I have got a Dr. Bronner's soap. I tipped half out into another container, which I can top up later, because I don't really need the whole thing. You don't use much. A mini toothpaste and bamboo toothbrush, another of those microfiber cloths, and a few cotton buds. Dipwell stove, well, pot, and then the stove sits inside. The canister clips into the lid. I've taken that out for the aeroplane with the canister stabilizer and the little stove inside, and again another cloth. That's really, it's for kitchen, but it's also to stop everything scraping the inside of my pot. Hose bag, mesh bag, merely just to hold it all so it doesn't fly everywhere and I don't lose it inside. Down in the little nooks and crannies, we've got some backpack cables, just bike shorts or hiking shorts. So these are either a spare pair of hiking shorts if something happens to the other pair, or like for the afternoon if those are sweaty and muddy or whatever. I want just some clean clothes, but I'm not quite ready to put thermals on. T-shirts, similar to this Merino Tech from Amazon. Nice t-shirt actually. Probably might get a bit thick, might get a bit hot, but it's a short sleeve option if I decide I don't like the sun hoodie, or an afternoon top. And then a long sleeve from 365 Merino. They have nice colours, and it's got the thumb loops as well. These are all my must stay dry clothes. Macpac, I think, Macpac Merino tights. A couple of pairs of merino undies. I have found the icebreaker ones seem to be the lightest, but they're also the tiniest. Yeah, so the Macpac ones are kind of a bit bigger. Kathmandu go a little bit tinier, and then the icebreaker ones are even kind of more brief than that. But the Kathmandu ones are a finer gauge merino, so they're a little bit lighter. Nice pair of thick merino socks. These actually came free when I bought my t-shirt, which was nice, and they're super nice. They're like your favourite warm socks. Beautiful, lovely, stretchy. And then 2 pairs of spare hiking socks. I'll get the ones I like the most because they got this tie-dye colour. Isn't that cool? Injinji toe socks, and they're kind of I guess they're mid-weight, light to mid-weight, to wear with the toe shoes. And that's just a produce bag like you'd get at the supermarket to put your fruit and veggies in. Sleep mat, I've added this little bit of packaging, courtesy of my son-in-law. Thank you, Brendan, for getting this for me. I've experienced a little bit of mat slippage, not too bad because I've always had a flat site, but if your tent has to be pitched on a slight slope or it's not quite even, it can kind of slide around a bit, so I'm hoping this will help prevent that. And then I've got the Nemo Tensor mummy mat. This has the air inflating bag inside it. Only takes 4 blows to blow it up, which I think is pretty good. Down jacket, insulated jacket with a hood. And so this is my pillow as well, and I keep a buff in the pocket inside. So this gets folded neatly and goes inside the bug net so it doesn't sort of expand, and then I just slip the buff over the edge, a bit like a pillowcase. Very comfy, I can sleep with that, and it also means if I get cold in the night I can just grab my jacket and put it on and have no pillow without rustling around in my pack to find a jersey. Okay, sleeping bag. I swapped out my Nemo that's in my other little video. I really love that sleeping bag. It's super warm. Hoping I don't need it because it'll be lovely and warm because it's summertime, right? So the reason I've swapped it out is this is lighter, and it's going to work because I'll show you why in a minute. It's going to be warm enough, I believe. This is the Cedar Summit Woman's, there's a label here somewhere, Spark. Down sleeping bag, and when I ordered it there was only the long version available, which has kind of been a serendipitous thing because it means a little bit wider in the body as well. Gives me a bit more room. Pretty spacious really for me, anyway. So I'm quite happy about that because I can find the mummy ones a bit restrictive. Anyway, it says this is comfort down to -1, lower limit -7, so you wouldn't want that. Total weight 639 grams, whereas my Nemo was more like a kilo, and it didn't pack down as small, so that's the reason I switched. But I am worried about getting cold, so what I've done is I've paired it with the Nemo. I had a lighter sleeping bag liner. There's the Cedar Summit Reactor, just kind of like the normal one. I think it's called Thermalite still, but this one is a fleece one. It's still a Thermalite Cedar Summity, but it's just fleece material, and it does have a hood and a little zip to get in and out, which is quite handy. And weight wise, combining these two was significantly less than combining the other two, and it means if it's really hot, this is just, you have this on its own. So to me it was like, well, if I'm cold during the day or in the evenings, I put on my fleecy jacket first, or my mid layer, which is comparable to this, and then my insulated jacket. So that's kind of how my thinking went around that, and that's all that's in there. So that's the bottom of the 9 flume bag. Now when I went to the river crossing course, I had this set up. So it has been tested floating down the river, basically. And a little bit of moisture did get in, soak into the Dyneema one. So they're correct. It's not waterproof if you submerge it. Rain, probably fine. It might eventually soak in. But I'm happy taking both. I know I'm doubling up. I'm carrying this 50 grams, which I might not need to carry. But for peace of mind for me, be able to just chuck everything in, and I can just jump on a plane if I have to rush back home or wherever. That works for me. So round to the front. The 2 carabiners at the front are to clip the, I've got a high-vis vest in here for road walking, so that'll go across the front, even if my purple's not enough. There's another microfiber cloth that's kind of my hanky, sweat, whatever, wipe my hands on. Front pocket here with my fantail. Right in the front we have got handy things. So again, I've clipped one of those Cedar Summit
carabiners on here, and then I've clipped everything to that. So first of all, it's just a freezer bag with handles. This is for picking up any litter I find or have myself, and then I can empty that or chuck the whole thing. Try not chuck the whole thing in a bin. I've got my trail bag tag, and somewhere with it is the PowerShell that came with that. So that's right up the front where I can see it and show it if I need to show that I'm a registered walker. I've got a Victorinox little teeny tiny pocket knife. It has a blade, scissors and screwdriver, which I need for my hiking poles if I need to tighten or loosen the lever attachments for the height adjustment. The reason I've kind of chucked everything in a bag here is if I'm trying to find stuff here, it gets lost down the bottom and I can't see it, or I get one thing out and a whole lot of things fall out. So into the little drawstring bag, but I can see through too, it's mesh. So there's the vest I was talking about that just gets clipped on the front for a bit of visibility. I got 2 of these Glad plate covers or bowl covers, like a shower cap, that can go over my front pockets if I decide I'm going to ditch the poncho, or if it's just not suitable to wear the poncho, but I want to keep my pockets extra dry. The important stuff is in a dry bag, but that's just me being extra careful. Tell me if you think it's overkill. And then the other things in this little bag are my water purification tabs, just some aqua tabs, a whole bunch of those, an emery board. In here is some nail clippers, tweezers, a teeny tiny scrubbing brush, and the sports strap that goes on sunglasses if you're going to be kayaking or canoeing down the Wanganui River and you don't want to lose sunglasses. You can clip these on, or even glasses, like I need these to look at my phone, that type of thing. That's 2 spare freezer bags for the rubbish. And then this is my good find recently. I always have trouble with the lighters rolling the top thing. These come in a pack of 2, and they have the little, I don't know, extending arm. But what I like is A, you don't burn your finger, and B, you can pull it with your finger rather than your, I mean, you can do it with your thumb, but I find that really hard. Maybe I've just got small hands. Is it just me? Let me know. So yeah, I really like this. It came in a pack of yellow and purple. How cool is that? So I've got the yellow one this time, and purple might be for the South Island. Right, so that's that little mesh bag, and there's another mesh bag here which has got the Durston pole accessories. I went to buy rubber tips for the hiking poles for the road sections. That was kind of a last minute thing. I was like, oh, I need those. And then it came with these big baskets. They're called snow baskets, and the little ones as well. And the reason apparently they have this hole here with the like bit cut out is so it doesn't suction in when it goes into mud. So then it got me thinking about sand and mud and things like that. So going to have a bit of a play with those if I can be bothered, and see what works best, because I've never used those before, but that's what they're made for. Right, that's everything in the front. Now on the inside of this zip front balance pocket, my torch, which should be in the dry bag, but I was just using it, Petzl head torch. It's pretty heavy, but I like it and it works well. It's reliable. I've had it for quite a while now. Rechargeable. Cedar Summit dry bag with electronics. Probably don't need to see what's in there. Oh, I just want to say thanks to Sue for giving me one of the battery banks. Belkin battery bank. I've got 2 10,000 amp, whatever they're called, 10,000 thing battery banks, because I've got my watch, my headphones, my torch, my phone. Was one other thing. Oh, the InReach, the Garmin InReach. So those are all the cords and the battery banks to go in there. On this side, so in this front balance pocket, there's 2 sides. So this particular, on this side, you can unzip it and just make it one big pocket. But it's quite handy to kind of keep it separate, and then you can just slide. Keeps things easy. So that's a Hydro Pack squishy bottle, 1.5 litres, and when you if it's empty and you squish it down, you can use that to kind of hold it all together as well. That's to treat my water in with those aqua tabs, so I'm not taking the filter. In this dry bag is handy things like wallet. I made some little presents to give, I mean they're tiny, for Koha, along with some money, and my trail pass, handy things for the day. So what I've done for ease is I've got my band-aids separate. So I've got some Compeed band-aids, some, you know, all different shapes and sizes in there, but keeping it separately because I found out the other day if you are bleeding and there's only you there and you need to get your band-aids out, the easier they are to get out, they're the most likely thing you're going to use, right? This one I've got some Tui bug spray and some pawpaw cream, some electrolyte tablets, capsules from Pure, some magnesium cream, and this foam waterproof, instead of Lucatape. I don't really like Lucatape for preventing blisters, but if I get a hot spot I'll use this. It looks a lot more comfortable, even though I haven't used it yet. Band-aids. What else? Oh, notebook. This is the one thing, question mark. Will I use it or will I just use my phone? So that may end up going. That's the little gifts. That's my a copy of my trail pass, and I've also put some emergency contact details in there as well, along with a bit of money. And then I've got some wired headphones for using at night, so I don't have to use up my battery ones. And that's the pouch that my shungite pendant comes with, and there's a couple of sweet notes in there. So I gave this to Sue when she walked Te Araroa, and then she's gifted it back to me to wear while I'm walking it. So that's pretty cool. And then just a couple of debit cards and some coins for laundry. That's that pocket. One more pocket to go. So on the front of this, this is the pocket I'll get into most during the day. And other stuff I'll likely need or might need is what I've kept in the other one. So these glasses go in this pocket, and then I've got sunglasses. I've got a key ring with my grandson and me in a photo in it. Thank you to my daughter Summer for that. And in here is my PLB and a howler whistle and a little dynamo torch. So that kind of sits right at the bottom. Hopefully I don't even need that. Cedar Salad dry waterproof foam pouch. Really hard to get my phone in and out of this. That's something I may end up swapping out. But because it's firm once it's in there, it's really easy to use. So that's what I'm hanging on to it for now. I hope I'll only be putting it in the morning and taking it out in the evening, and that it might loosen a little bit with use. But as you can see, that's strapped on there. You use your phone quite a bit for the trail navigation, which is all done through the app on your phone. Is that everything? Oh, the InReach is on there as well. I'll be using that for emergency messaging if I'm outside of coverage, and also for tracking, so that my family can keep an eye on me and make sure I'm not hitching a ride. Alright, pockets here. This is my snacks and my drinks for the day. So I've got an 800ml Systema bottle, that's just for cordial. And then the water in the other one will top that up during the day. Snack bag. And then I've got a titanium spork, long handled, bamboo spoon, it's about the same length. Thermos. I like to make a cup of soup in the morning, put it in my thermos and have it later, but I don't like the bits in the soup, like those dehydrated bits. So when I pour it in here, I strain it through the mesh. So that's why I've got a mesh bag, but the mesh bag is also serving the purpose of making sure that it's not making a noise while it's sitting in my cup. This is my cute new cup. And what I like about this cup, it's a new Bugaboo cup, it's got the increments on the outside, but you can see them really clearly from the inside, which is the first for a cup. yeah, this is the nicest cup I've found that kind of works. It does get a bit hot, obviously, when you're something hot in it and you go to drink it straight away. But I really like that, and I love the colour. It's very cool. So that all sits up there, and then underneath that, oh, on this one I've got my TA patch. That's very nice. And then a Ziploc bag with a beanie, fleece gloves, and a buff. And trail gloves, so these are more to cut the wind or be out in the rain, whereas the fleece gloves I'd keep for, hey, I'm dry now but my hands are freezing, I'll put them on now. That's empty. That's it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know what you think, if I've missed anything, or what you think I'm going to drop during the trail. You think, oh, you don't need that. You don't need to take that. You could use something else, or I could double up. Something I hadn't thought of anyway. Love to hear your ideas, but make it quick because it'll be too late soon. Cheers.